Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors, you're welcome. It's so lonely here. It's a game where you try not to be lonely, I guess. Let's go. We're running through the forest. We're off to a great start. It's late at night and the sky is as black as pitch. There's nothing to light your way, save for the moon's milky glow. But the trees cannot eat you. Not properly. Trees which surround you, jutting out of the earth like eerie monuments to a foreign god, blotting out most of the light. You cannot see where you are going. Even if you had commenced your flight in a more sensible hour, however, the light of the sun to aid you, it would be of little use. You cannot know where you are going. You have no map, no route, no plan. Are running like a frightened animal, anxious and nervy. And nervy. Forgot about nervy. No destination in mind. You have no desire. As you run, safe to escape. You cannot let yourself be caught. That would happen. You are certain that you would be ruined. No choice, therefore, to keep going. On and on and on. If you're just screaming at you for mercy. You have no idea how long you've been running. Times begin to blend together. It had lost all meaning. The thick, sharp snags at the hem of your skirt. You don't have the luxury to pause and examine what has happened. Instead, you tug. Skirt tears, sound splits in the forest. You stumble forward with a shocked gasp. You are free, but at what cost? Your skirt has been irrevocably damaged. That's why you wear pants. It might be too late to worry about such trivial matters now, though. Do not start running again. If you do not start running again, and soon, she will catch you. I don't know if that's how sentences work. Then your life will be over. You don't know if she's still following you. But you do not want to risk looking over her shoulder. You are to see her, silhouetted beneath a tree, looking at you with that sickly sweet smile that once ensnared you. You would lose what little nerve you possess. Your legs would lock up and the blood would freeze in your veins. Then you would crumble. You would fall. You would not hit the ground. She would be there to catch you. Did she not promise, when you made that contract, that you would never be alone? I would like to take a break from the silly wish of yours, but it's too late for that. It's too late for a lot of things. All you could do is run. You run and run and run, while icy fog swirls around your feet. It's cold enough to sap the heat from your body, and you shudder from it. It feels as though you are drowning. It feels as though you're being buried alive. Your knees and your shins, meanwhile, are bleeding. You cannot endure much more of this. And if you value your life, you must. Run and run and run until at long last you reach a fork in the road. A 3 paths which split off through the forest. 4 if you count the path down which came. You cannot exactly double back on yourself, though. I wouldn't have put so much effort into running forward. It was press on. The 3 paths are signposted. That was strange. It's somewhat of a straight side given, or so deep in the forest. Or there may be, you've grown accustomed to the shadows. You just pick out the writing of this old, dilapidated signpost. Curved as splendid though it is. Or fate. She will forgive you for sounding cliches in your hands. Now I wonder, which path will you take? I think let's go to the shore. Ooh, you want to go to the shore. Good idea. What will you discover there, I wonder? This night is far from over. And there are any number of adventures still awaiting you. You prepared yourself in advance, and I do hope for your sake that you've learned how to swim. I got bad news. I have a sneaky suspicion that this skill might come in handy. You follow the path which leads to the shore, supporting yourself on weary, aching limbs, which feel ready to snap at the knee beneath the burden of your weight. For a little more than a wisp of a girl. You've been running for so very long, and your feet are so very numb. Feel like a great lumbering thing. You know, lay down quickly. Only hope is you continue to run. It will find the means of escape. The means to escape your current predicament by the shore. You do not know what awaits you. But you have visions of a harbor extending out to the horizon, building a fleet of white-sailed fishing vessels. Surely there will be a kindly fisherman who will be willing to take you far, far away on his boat, to a place where your pursuer will not be able to find you. I could imagine, too, the face of this friendly fisherman. A face you had lifted from the fairy tales you read in abundance as a small child. You had thick, bushy eyebrows, and dark brown beard, streaked through with gray. You look intimidating at a glance. But he will be fiercely protective of you, like a father. You do not know what father is supposed to be like. You're only imagining. It is your imagination, however, which grants you the strength needed to keep going. I'm really digging this art style, gotta say. You're under the shore. Takes you some time before you finally emerge from the woods. But finally, you do it. How much time, you ask? Can I answer that? Did I not say that time began to lose all its meaning? Is it not lighter outside? The forest is behind you now. At least, all those awful nightmares that lurk within it. It's still cold, though. It's still foggy. It is still dark, too. Okay, thank you. That was my question. The sun is at your eyes. You see the moon more clearly now. It hangs above your head, round as any pearl or orb, crystal ball. Moonlight shines down upon the cliffs, which plunge sharply downward to an array of sharp, spiky rocks below. Oh, that bodes well for me. You felt upon escape of the woods a degree of hope. The sight of these weather-blessed cliffs. Pause. Inhale. Then frown. Now what are you to do? No balls jump down. Not think this plan of yours through very well. Very much in a way of planned in the first place. You're a little in the way of civilization here. Cliffs are far from the village. How far? You don't know. And you cannot see any houses. Where exactly were you? It's your weary head. What of your weary legs? Fitfully, look around. There's nobody to your east. Is anybody to your west? No point looking south. That's the way you came. When you look north, the world falls away from you. Cliffs are too steep to scale. It's too dark. Actually, there's not a soul here to help you. You're on your own. So overwhelmed, you very well cry. You do not cry, however. You know that tears have never helped anyone. Put yourself into this mess, then you need to get yourself out of it. It's with this in mind that you inhale a lungful of salty oceanic air. You begin exploration in earnest. You push the edge of the cliffs, where you might slip and sudden, unfortunate tumble into the abyss below. Not attached to your mortal body as some humans are, but you do not want to die. You still care for yourself, only a little. It is this sense of self-preservation that compels you onward. Let's explain that. Pressing the tall grass beneath your shoes, is search for a place of shelter. Surely there must be somewhere. It is any likely looking settlement spot. What is that? Over yonder. Could that be a roof? Are we yondering right now? Oh, girl. Hurry onward. Hope budding anew in your heart, till long last you reach your destination. On left. The house, after all, up here in the wilds. Though it doesn't at a glance look very welcoming. solitary house that you had discovered. Not so far from the cliffs, rather unremarkable. It was small and squat. I cannot imagine it contains within it more than one floor. Who cares? I cannot even imagine that it contains much more than one room. I could board it up. Though it is dark, it is not dark enough. The mess that the cottage has something of a slant to it. It is leaning listlessly to one side, like a drunken sailor. The thatched roof, meanwhile, which stops the swelling, certainly seen better days. There's a hole in the thatch. There are several holes, in fact. Parts of it look particularly bare or spalled. And rather concerning. Good terrain. You will not be properly protected from the elements. I don't think that's our biggest concern right now. No, I say night such a place. You have some misgivings. Do misgivings matter, really, when there's nowhere else to go? And not although you have any other options. It is with this sense of defeat, therefore, that you approach the cottage. Sticks out of the earth like a tombstone. I moves to turn back. I know that'd be foolish. What is the cottage dark? But that does not necessarily mean that it's empty. We have late night after all. Who lives here? If indeed anyone does live here, it would be asleep. I cannot imagine the owners of the cottage would appreciate being aroused so very late at night. You cannot let yourself worry too much about these small details, however. Otherwise, you will never get anywhere. You swallow. The taste is salty, savory, it's pungent in the back of your nostrils. Then you wrap your knuckles of your right fist on the door. Not quietly at first. You do not hear any resolute shufflings inside of the cottage. I said cabin, my bed. As you don't use enough strength. Emboldened, you wrap your knuckles up the door for a second time, more loudly this time. For a few moments, but still, you cannot hear anything. Perhaps the cottage is unoccupied after all. Look for a third time and wait. The charm is, as they say, the charm. But for all that, your knocking goes unanswered. Well, nobody can say you did not try. One take now, then anxious. You figure to find the handle of the door. Pull it down, and to your surprise, it yields easily. It swings it back for you, by magic. It was almost as if it was preordained. I hate it. You step foot inside the cottage, which is very dark. Look around. Hard to see, given the latest of the hour, but the cottage's interior is about as inspiring as its exterior, which is to say, not very. But it's full of as cramped as you fancy it, and observe it from the outside. There's a few cupboards which line the walls, a wood fire which has just been extinguished, and a straw pallet on the floor, which must function as a bed. Research is unsuccessful, however. I give the try to locate other humans. Get find another soul. Surely that is to your benefit, though. If there's something chasing after us, the answer is no. Nobody else is here. They might as well make itself at home. At home as one can be, I suppose. A small cramped cottage such as this, with holes in the roof. Close the door behind you. And push a straw pallet. All of a sudden you're feeling incredibly weary. The tiredness that assails your limbs is absolute. Don't as it overcomes the last of your concerns. Settle down upon the straw pallet, yawning as you do. It is not comfortable. But being able to lay down eases some of your aches and pains. Lying down, even on an uncomfortable makeshift bed such as this one, is better than standing. It's far, far better than running. Our eyelids fall shut, the lashes melting together. And we die, soothed by the sounds of the wind, distant rolling of the waves, and fall asleep. They dip again in a dream. Don't do that. It's not uncommon, of course, to dream. The best and the worst of us do it. From queens in their castles to peasants sleeping in the straw. Why, who's to say that all you have observed tonight has not, in a sense, been a dream of its own? That'd make your nighttime fancies then. Dreamers had a dream? Perhaps our dreams are empty, full of things, like inside one another, like little wooden dolls. Is that not a whimsical thought? No. Not very droll. Our dreams, however, cannot be called whimsical, and neither are they particularly droll. They are not pure fabrications as dreams sometimes are, fleeting fantasies, which can never go to pass. Your dreams are of a rather more delicious sort. In your dreams, you are at the conservatoire with your red hair tied back into two prim proper braids. You're walking through the courtyard, clutching your books to your chest as you make your way to the library. Your head is bowed. You also not look at the faces of your passing classmates. You do not want to meet their eyes. These girls, with their sensible braids and their sensible shoes, are merciless. Get your shoulders together and stim yours. Do not draw attention so as not to draw their attention. But alas, it is not enough. You stumble, clumsy thing that you are, and you fall. Like that, all eyes are upon you. They're staring at you. They're laughing at you. You lay on the ground, by the fountain, your books scattered, your skirt in a woeful state of disarray. Your knee hurts. Is it bleeding? Examine your leg, not to cry. And, as it suspires, you hear a voice. The plaster is calling out to you. It has acknowledged you. Oh, surely. You're bleeding in your eyes. A girl taller than you, and prettier, much more refined. Their hand toward you. It can help you. But I have to try, can it? Oh, it hurts. Gently you reach out to accept her offered aid. You squeeze her arms tightly, perhaps too tightly. You look at your skin. It hurts. Deftly, the girl pulls you to your feet. You feel weak from your fall, your knees still aching, still bleeding. Stumble, feeling out of sorts. You are not afforded much but putting together your bearings. Both hands are on your shoulders, laughing at you. And she's pushing you into the fountain. The sound of the fountain and the running water which drums against the basin is, all of a sudden, very loud. It's overwhelming. It surrounds you, and it engulfs you. Cold as ice, you cannot breathe. The music of the water continues, echoing in your eardrums over and over, and then... No. You do not want to remember this. What good will it do? The past. If the past ought to remain. We're never going to go back. Not even in your dreams. It is determination which forces you back to the world of the waking at the start. You gasp like a fish as you sit upright. Your eyes are naturally wide. You feel wearied from the lack of sleep in, your flooded eyes to glance about. Still dark as at your cottage, not visible from beyond the windows, splashed still with stars. Long will you sleep? Not sure. It was so very detailed. It really did feel like you'd been transported into a different time, into a different place. When you inhale, you taste the rank. Fountain? A gross water in your mouth. Intuitively, you pat yourself down. The chilling is the front of your uniform. So vivid was your dream, you haven't expected to find your clothes are damp. That's not the case, however. They were in fact perfectly dry. Well, now what do you do? Go back to sleep? This is the best option available to you. You're very tired. But your senses feel too overwrought all of a sudden for sleep. You do not think you can bear it. On the city legs, you raise your feet and step by the window. Look out into the starry sky, into the pitted moon which hangs amongst them, and frown. You hear the wind outside, howling like an injured animal, and, more softly, flow over the waves as they meet the cliffs. That's not all. There's that sound. It's like a piano. It's like singing. was far away, but you cannot pick out any individual words, and individual symbols, syllables, whoops. There's a haunting quality to it. Singer, where they are, quite a pretty voice, high and clear like a bell. The song of the melancholy one, which stirs your heart. It takes it inside of you. As it did during the fateful day, I found that book in the library. Logically, you know you should not go outdoors to see singing, but emotionally, it's another matter altogether. You really should have learned your lesson by now. You should know better. Not to go sticking your nose at a business which does not concern you. But naughty little girls such as you never do learn. Across the old fisherman's cottage, as though in a dream, I reach for the handle of the door. Not to press easily enough beneath their grasping fingers. The door opens with a clank. You're an idiot. As the world yawns before you, the frame in the doorway, all of it bathed in moonlight. I thought it was cold inside the old cottage, but it's colder still now that the door is open. An unpleasant wind rushes forth to meet you, and nothing mercilessly through the fabric of your uniform. Across the cold, inhospitable landscape, there is a chicken face at your side. When you step out into the unknown, God, we're fucking stupid. You canvas the cliff face, find nothing more than the luxurious singing. No haunting and ethereal is its voice, as it hangs on the breeze. It would be enough to send 1,000 ships off to war. It's a siren. You walk here tonight until you reach the very edge of the cliffs, where you drop downwards at empty air. You ought not go any further. The voice is yet to cease. You still hear it echoing inside your head. It compels you to act. Look down to the shore. It feels like a dizzying distance away. Now out of the ocean, which is breaking against the scattered rocks below. And there with determination. Then take a step toward the cliff. God, we're fucking idiots. The cliffs are steep and the rocks below them are sharp. They look glitchy in the darkness, tips jagged, teeth, like teeth of a hungry predator. Cold wind blows, rocking your hair, and you shudder from it. Your shoes are not built for scaling cliffs, and your heels do not have much of the way of purchase, particularly not when the cliffs are so steep. Going to the cliffs is no small feat. You are determined to ease yourself down onto the shore, in one piece, preferably. The wind is so powerful, it feels as though there is something deliberately malicious to it. You wonder during your descent, it means to knock you off your perch on purpose, gets you down to the rocks below. Well, that's what it was, and you refuse to give it the satisfaction. You could be awfully stubborn at times, and now is one of them. You continue to climb. How long have you been at it now? You're the narrator, you should know. Until at long last, your feet meet the shoreline below. You made it. It doesn't sustain too many injuries. Let's go! I was a throbbing yes after gripping those rocks. You have a few cuts, but your wounds are of a shallow and superficial sort. The things could have been worse. Look at your fingers, they feel uncomfortably numb, cold inside it, prickling. You can still feel discomfort. Oh, the sun's coming out, it's thick. At least it's still attached to your bones, or it ought to be. Your vital organs, concealed within the hollow cavity of your body. You have a lot to be thankful for. This night had, by and large, been quite successful. There are no longer any obstacles between you and the mysterious voice which lulls you outdoors. Show me a siren. I must find them. Show me a siren. You set off down the shore, in the hood with the singing voice which has captivated you so. Sides of sharp, jagged rocks which stood out of the sand like teeth. The rocks which cannot be circumnavigated, meanwhile, you clamber over, all the while the sound of the sea mingles with that of the singing. Provides an ethereal, haunting backdrop to your exploration, one which further adds to the reality of your moonlit stroll. Waves lap against the shore, and recede daily, pushed, pulled, the bleach-whited moon that hangs overhead. The oceans that you have seen in your library books are all blue as sapphires, but this ocean is different. It's a late night, it looks black instead, like onyx. The undulating surface, the water reminds you of a mirror. Those depths are yet deeper and much more mysterious. As the foreboding settles upon you, but try to quash it. Do not let yourself be afraid. Oh, what did I say? What did I say? It's a siren. What did I say? Around the corner, your feet unsteady, and there's sensible brown shoes. And at long last, you see her. There's a woman sitting upon a rock, out in the ocean. Her eyes are closed and her lips are parted. Her expression is soulful. She is singing. Her hair is fair. The flutters around her face like a shroud, which adds to her otherworldly aura. Her eyes are closed. Her lashes are long and luxuriant. The dolls. Her lips, meanwhile, which are parted in song, are soft. They're like the freshly plucked petals of a flower. Her face is perfect, as are her proportions. What you mean by that? Like so slender, like the stem of a flower. And below half of her body, meanwhile, well, there's nothing like anything you've ever seen before. It is here, and here alone, that the woman portrays her narrow human definitions of beauty. Her legs are non-existent. Rather, the two awkward appendages. The woman has instead a sleek, shimmering tail of a fish. Is she not then a human? No, she's a siren. She cannot be, not with a tail like that. The unusual sight makes you gasp, quite audibly at that. I don't mean to be rude, but you can't help yourself. Women suddenly react poorly to things they do not understand. At least you do not scream. It would have been even ruder. Oh my! To observe the mermaid from a distance, it appeared that your shocked gasp was loud enough to attract her attention. Her tailed vision, while the rock is looking at you. Her gaze so piercing. It feels almost as though she's looking through you. Her seems to stop inside your chest, as if by some manner of magical spell. You thought the mermaid pretty when you first observed her. Sitting on that outcrop of rock, her face turned in profile. And now she's looking at you. However, you can see that you were mistaken. And she's not just pretty, she's beautiful. Much so, it's almost unnerving. It's as though she has stepped out of the page of a picture book. Simply too perfect to belong to this world. Now she's some kind of vision. A waking dream. Hallucination. But no, she's none of those things. Her tail might be an impossible thing. Those scales look sleek, and but regardless. Those of any fishes, one. What? Like those of any fishes, one might be at the market. The scales are iridescent and bathed beneath the light of the moon. It seemed almost glow. The sight of her rather takes your breath away. Look at the mermaid. She looks back to you. You hear yourself expecting some sort of indication. Surprise from fades from the mermaid's face. Her lips, which were once pursed at a frown, now shift upward. She's smiling. And then she says, in a refined sort of voice, My. It really is good to see a human again. Particularly a human girl. I was beginning to fear your kind had all disappeared, and I would no longer have anybody left to Tell me of the world above the waters. My. This is quite an effusive greeting. Rose introductory speech is positively brimming with excitement, of a sweet girlish variety, and the more amicable, with the fine polish of her syllables, what a pick would suggest. You might be a well-bred lady yourself, with an accent to match. It could not be me, but you cannot help but feel overwhelmed. Anxiously observe the mermaid, and ask her what she means. I think with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. So, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I will see you later.